Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve podcast takes a close-up look at controversial subject matter and hot-button topics, adding humor, cynicism, and a dose of reality to the stuff we're not supposed to talk about anymore. Politics, religion, sex, gender identity, violence, corruption. Nothing is left unturned in this lighthearted approach to information dissemination. The world is experiencing a pandemic of cowardice. 80% of people do not believe the craziness they've been coerced to agree with. Grab a friend, grab a beverage, and dive in with us as we take on the narrative and blast social stigmas with truth. Here are your hosts, Patriots Ray Amanat and Steve Reed.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody in social media land, blog land, and YouTube land. Welcome to Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. I'm Ray Amanat, based out of Port Richey, Florida, where it's mostly sunny out here. And of course, my co-host, Mr. Steve Reed, somewhere in an outhouse in northern Texas. Hello, Steve.
Oh, Ray. I am so tempted to just take you out of this broadcast for a few minutes. Let's see if we can get you thinking and talking straight.
Well, the whole question is, do people take everything seriously, or can we just laugh for once? I mean, we're not laughing anymore. We're just, everyone is getting butthurt about everything.
That is very
so
true.
Much finger pointing going on that everyone is just like, well, we're right. No, you're right. And in case you guys were wondering, that's kind of the topic of our show today.
Well, and Ray, we need to start off as we try to every time and put our disclaimer out there. This is an opinion-based program, and it does not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of our guests when we have them, our sponsors and affiliates. This is our opinions, but again, as always, we are factual, we are accurate, so our opinions are truth, the real truth, okay? Not your opinion that you think is the truth, but the real truth. So,
and you know what everyone else can do with their opinions.
Oh, Ray, please.
Satan, was that you?
Okay. It's going to be a long broadcast today. Oh, Ray. So how are you doing? Other than having this vocal disorder.
Oh, I'm doing fine. I mean, I do
sometimes identify as a woman, but right now, no.
You know, Ray, I wasn't going to share that quite this early in the broadcast, but I've got to share this slide real quick. Yes. You know, when you stop and think years ago when we were growing up, at least for myself, I know you're much younger than I am, but we played Cowboys and Indians.
Yes.
But now but you can't do that anymore because it's insensitive. But now grown men can pretend to be women and go into schools and libraries and wherever they want to go. And it's perfectly all right. So what would you rather have, playing Cowboys and Indians, or would you have a drag queen talking to our youngsters?
Cowboys and Indians all day long, because I was the Lone Ranger when I was growing up.
Oh my God!
That is Zorro.
Let me tell you, I am not your Tonto. That is for sure. So I don't know if you've ever heard this. In one of the episodes, they're out and about wherever, and it's like 2 a.m, and Tonto rolls over and says, "Oh, Kimasabi, what you see?" And Lone Ranger says, "Well, I see the beautiful stars, and it's a nice, cool evening. It's really, really wonderful." He says, "No, Kimosabi, someone steal our tent." Get it? He sees the stars. Somebody's still there. Yes. So, Ray, what are we talking about today?
I think morality, respect, self-respect, respect for others, and personal responsibility.
Oh, get out of
Which
here.
which I think there's a lack of in our schools, in our communities, in our
Yeah.
government, and around the world. I
Yep.
mean, it's. I saw a video of the Dalai Lama with a kid in his lap saying, "Hey, touch my tongue. Now bite my tongue or lick my tongue." I'm like, okay, is he grooming this kid? He came out later on and apologized for that. I wish I had that video, but it was disgusting.
Wow. And then you have other national figures that go
People that,
around sniffing girls' hair or ladies'
yeah,
hair. It's like, what in the world is going on? I'm blown away. Yes, and our buddy Katie likes cowboys and Indians. Hey there, Katie. It's good to have you. And Debbie is chiming in there as well. Ray, I saw a couple of videos just recently. One of them, and I'm going to do a little bit of a setup for this first video that I want to share. And this is for a video from a school district in the Houston area, and this happened about 2 weeks ago. I guess it was about 2 weeks ago.
for our viewers, it's a viewer advisory. For the listeners that can't see the actual video, we'll set it up and describe it. But
Yeah,
all the videos that we're going to be showing you are pretty graphic. So
yeah, they're pretty
viewer
brutal.
advisory.
All right, so thank you for that. So here we go. Hang on.
New at 10, Lamar High School is investigating the disturbing video that shows a student punching a teacher in the head today.
A concerned parent reached out to KHOU 11 News after seeing the video, which students are sharing.
An incident at Lamar High School started because of a cell phone. In this clip, a student gets in front of a teacher's face demanding to get his phone. Seconds later, he punches the teacher in the face. We reached out to Houston ISD. The principal at Lamar High School sent a message to parents and students. It says in part, quote, "We do not condone and will not tolerate this type of behavior. It is always our top priority to maintain an environment where our students and staff are safe." It goes on to say, quote, "Administrators will be looking into the cause of the altercation and continue to evaluate ways to prevent these occurrences in the future." An HISD high school teacher we spoke with says he was shocked after seeing the video. He does not want to be identified.
20 years ago, you wouldn't hear the same types of things that you hear in a classroom today from students.
He says he's been an educator for 20 years, and the disrespect from students is getting worse, both verbal and in some instances physical.
Those are the things that we deal with in the classroom. Those are some things that you have to prepare yourself for when you go to work in the morning. That, today I might get punched in the face or somebody might throw a punch at me.
He says some students don't realize the consequences of their actions and that something has to change in schools for everyone to be safe. Maria Aguilera, KHOU 11 News.
Ray, a little bit of setup on that. I lived in Houston for about 9 years, and this school is in one of the most affluent parts of Houston. It's in the River Oaks area, and Rice University is right down the street from there. Very, very successful old money area. And I am blown away that they would ask what are the consequences. Ray, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, what would the consequences have been if that sort of altercation took place in your school or mine?
Well, I'll go back further than 20 or 30 years ago, back when they did have paddles and teachers were actually parents supported teachers disciplining the children. And then that went away, paddles went away. And one of the things that I'm going to be stressing, I say this to all the schools that I go to, and for all of you that are listening, this is really important. Teachers have their hands tied.
Yes.
Because if a teacher puts their hands on a student or a minor, you're always going to have a parent that's going to come out and say, "How dare you touch my child?"
Yep.
And if a teacher does not do anything and lets their child get beat up by another student or anything, you're going to have a parent that's going to say, "Well, where were the teachers? Why didn't they stop this from happening to
Exactly.
my child?" So
Exactly.
they're afraid of getting fired. They're afraid of having charges pressed against them.
Yep.
So teachers, just like law enforcement, where you have acceptable use of force and then justifiable use of force, and then too much use of force, where police officers can lose their job, as can teachers. But it comes down to the school's legal department and the school's insurance, their property casualty.
Yeah.
They're the ones that dictate what teachers can or can't do. Now, if the teachers don't feel like the school's legal department or insurance departments have their back, they're going to be apprehensive in reacting or doing
Yep.
anything.
Yep.
So it's going to come up with the policies, procedures, and programs that the schools place. Do they follow through with it? Do they actually enforce those policies, procedures, and programs? And do they have the backing behind the insurance companies and their legal department, where the teachers are going to say, "Okay, this is what you can do. This is how you can escort a student or touch a student or handle a student. This is what you can verbally do, and we will back you. If you go above and beyond this, then that's use of excessive force that the school does not condone. That's where the school can have repercussions for that teacher. Once there's a clear line on what teachers can or can't do, and not only the teachers sign off on it, but the parents of the school district sign off on it, then you're going to see some actual solutions for those school districts.
Yeah. Ray, I'm reminded of several different things. There was a meme that I tried to find. I just saw it a couple of weeks ago of um, a teacher and a parent back in the 70s, 60s, and 70s, and the child was misbehaving quite a bit, and the parent is giving that child you know what. The next frame in this meme was
Timeout. They were giving them a timeout.
well, yeah, whatever. No, in my day, it was a paddling. But the next frame in this meme was actually the teacher sitting there cowering with the parent screaming at the teacher, and little junior is doing everything he or the daughter wants to do. My child is perfect. You don't dare discipline my child. That is so wrong. You're the one that's got the problem. It's not me. It's not my child. It's your fault. So what happened? What
There
happened?
was a time where parents would use the school and the teachers to kind of control and discipline their kids at home, where
Exactly.
they would say, "Do I need to go and ask your teacher if you're
Yep.
lying or not?"
Yep.
And they actually respected the teacher's opinion.
Yeah.
Now
Nothing.
they're listening to their kid more, and their kid is manipulating the parent. I got a question for all you parents out there that are listening or watching. How many times have your child manipulated you and put one parent against the other? Where, "Mom, could I go outside and play?" No, you got to do your homework first.
Yeah.
"Dad, could I go outside and play?" And then dad says, "Sure, go ahead."
Yep.
So it totally went against mom. It's that communication between the mom and the dad where, "Mom, could I go outside and play?" No, you got to do your homework first.
Mhm.
"Dad, could I go outside and play?" Well, what did your mother say?
Right.
So that you know that you're in control of the situation. Where a child is pitting their parents
Yeah,
against
exactly.
the school district now.
Exactly.
Where, mom, the school hates me, they don't like me, they're out to get me, especially this teacher is out to get
Yeah.
me. So the parent, instead of asking the teacher, who is educated and has gone through many years of college to get their degree to be able to be in a school and safely teach their kid, no, I'm going to listen to my kid instead of a grown adult.
Exactly. So, Ray, I know you've got some other alternatives and some other answers. And I know one of the things that you do in your line of work is you teach young kids all about respect. So, why don't we take a quick look at Heroes in Action?
Hi, welcome to Heroes in Action. I'm Ray Amanat, founder and creator of this training system. I originally made it so that everyone can train for free. We have programs for kids, for women, families, and businesses. I'm an author, speaker, and educator on everything that has to do with violence and bullying prevention education. If you'd like more information about who we are and what our programs are, please go to our website at heroesinaction.us or give me a call if you have any questions at 727-314-2534. We hope to see you here to train.
So, Ray.
It's not just coming to our training facility in Florida to train with us. We can come to you. We go anywhere and train. We just went to New York. I'm going to be heading back to St. Louis to do a whole series of workshops for 6th, 7th, and 8th graders and 9th graders at a private Catholic school. So we come to you.
And how do you pay your bills, Ray?
Well, that's a great question. Everything that we do is free. When we travel outside of Florida, then all of our travel expenses, of course, need to be paid. But for the most part, it's through generous donations from donors that support our foundation. So if you just go to this QR code or go to our website at heroesinaction.us and click on the Donate Now button, your donations will help us continue to go to schools, talk to the administrators about their policies, procedures, and programs, and help the teachers through training. There's no, if I were to train that teacher that got punched in the face in the video, he would not have gotten punched in the face with my training. That teacher had his hands down instead of his hands up. He was in a danger zone instead of a safe zone, a safe distance away from the student. He was not diffusing or de-escalating, so he wasn't using the language. If the school staff could be trained to know what to say and how to react, that would not happen either.
Yeah. So, folks, you could keep Ray very busy wherever you are and go through his training. It is outstanding training. Ray, one of the things that I learned from you on several occasions is just being observant of everything that's going on in your surroundings. And I totally agree. If that teacher had been prepared, really been thinking about what was going on, he would not have been clocked.
Right.
So, all right, let's continue on. And when do you think all of this disrespect, when do you think all of that started?
Oh my gosh. It's been a building block because I've worked with teachers in schools back in St. Louis that they say there's literally a fight, if not every day, every week, that they have to break up between students, or there are students that are threatening teachers. When you have schools that have metal detectors for all the students to walk through, and they require all the backpacks to be clear backpacks that you see through backpacks, that that's been going on for a while now. That's where there's a big issue in that community or in that.
Sure.
I say community, not just school district, but it's a big issue in that community based on lack of parenting or lack of parents.
That
should I say.
that brings me to my next question. What has happened? I believe that the foundation of all of the stuff that we've got going on with the disrespect and nobody taking personal responsibility, I believe we can trace this back to the early 60s. I mean, we can trace it back to the beginning of time, but it was really ramped up in the early 60s. Now, why do you think I say that? Because in 1964, President Johnson passed some legislation that essentially destroyed families. And they said, we will give mothers welfare money as long as the father is not in the household, is not in the home. Okay. So where are the kids learning morals and values? Mom's working her tail off as much as she possibly can. So
Because
where are
the
the kids
dad
learning?
might not be paying child support. The dad might not be supporting the family. The dad is out of the picture.
Mom may not even know who dad is. Or maybe if mom's got 5 kids, maybe there are 5 different dads. So I mean, the moral decay that we are seeing is rampant. So, what community, and I'm not trying to be racist in any way, shape, or form, but what community do you think has been devastated the most by these policies from back in the 60s?
And I don't mean to sound racist or anything, but the African American communities
Exactly.
have been affected most greatly. I got a question for you guys, and this is a homework assignment for all our viewers and our listeners out there. I want you to go to your school district that's in your neighborhood or community and compare it to other school districts and ask this one question. What's the percentage or number of students that are from a single family parent home that attends your school? And that number that you come up with is going to blow your minds away.
Yep. It's
blow
insane.
your minds away.
It
Because
is
anywhere
insane.
it's between 70 to 80% or higher.
So Ray, the problem is the government, 50, 60 years ago, tried to destroy the family as much as they possibly could. Now it's impacting all cultures. It's not just the black family. It's destroying a lot of families.
It's
But
low income families as well.
well, low income, high income, middle income, whatever, doesn't make any difference. But what's happening is the government is trying to replace the family. So they're trying to make single moms dependent on the government instead of having an intact family that is the best. Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Exactly. So they're trying to supplant the dads in our society. They're trying to destroy men in any way they possibly can. They're trying to wussify men as much as possible. And as a result, look what's happening. So kids now are looking to the government for the moral authority, okay? But they're also looking to gangs for moral authority. And Ray, I have absolutely no experience in dealing with gangs, none whatsoever. I don't know if you do directly or indirectly with your martial arts training, but I'm going to guess you get some kids that have come out of gang environments and you get to teach them personal responsibility and moral authority
Well,
and those sorts of things.
one of the things back in St. Louis, I would go to the juvenile detention center as a speaker to talk to the kids.
Mhm.
And a great percentage of them are in some type of a gang. And it's when they don't see their own family as a resource for them to be able to get what they want. Other kids have nice shoes and everything else. My mom can't afford getting into it, so I join a gang. And okay, we go to that Walmart or we go whatever else, and we steal or loot or do whatever else. one way or another, or they sell drugs to get the money to be able to get whatever they want.
Right.
You know, that becomes their new family. Crime becomes a new family. If their dad is in prison and they look up to their dad, I'm going to be just like my dad.
Yep.
Some of their mindset is, my hero is my dad who's in prison. So I'm going to wash, rinse, repeat what he did.
Exactly. And that just, it exacerbates the whole situation. So you've got this repeating cycle. If dad's not in the picture, then oftentimes what happens is, especially the young men, do not learn how to respect other people. And that's going to continue to propagate in one generation after another, after another, after another. Ray, in my coaching business, a lot of times I'm working with people that they've developed some bad habits, and it's because, well, my dad did this or my mom did that, and I'm doing just what my parents did or my grandparents or great whatever. So it's just going generation after generation because we're not getting the moral fiber and learning respect at home. And the crazy thing is, and I'm not going to get into this too much right now, but when you look at the lack of respect that we have in our government, in our justice system as a whole, it's getting worse and worse. When you look at some of the inner city crime, well, some of the crime that's going on in district attorneys that won't even prosecute somebody for shoplifting. They don't have the manpower. So they say, well, okay, when did shoplifting start? It started in the home. So that, I think, is one of the biggest breakdowns that we have in our society right now.
Well, it's dependency on welfare, getting the welfare checks, getting the food stamps and things like that. When you have a family that for more than 3 or 4 generations has gone through the welfare state. Well, mom lived on welfare and she did okay for herself, so I can live on welfare. My kids can live on. We just let the government take care of us. There's no motivation to get an education.
Exactly.
There's no motivation to build a career, get a job, or have a career. They're just going to say, well, this is how I've lived all my life. This is all I know. And, we're good with that.
Okay. Along with that, it develops that entitlement mentality. Everybody owes me something. Okay. You owe me free bread, you owe me free booze, you owe me free whatever.
Free cell phone, free car, free whatever.
Everything. So where are we teaching people to, have self-respect and go out and take care of yourself? Why would you want to live in bondage to the government when you can go out and produce something yourself?
Well, that's what the churches were there to teach morals, morality, values, and things like that. But the numbers of people that go to churches, I think, have gone down.
Oh,
because of government. It's the government is one entity, and your religious facilities are another entity, and they're battling each other instead of working with each other.
Okay. So the
separate church and state,
which is a farce. That's a farce. We'll do another program on that, but that's a lie. It is nowhere in the Constitution or the Bill of Rights. Okay, but the government is trying to usurp the authority of fathers and families. They're trying to do the same thing. They're trying to make government religion. They're not calling it that, but they're trying to make government the national religion in our world, and we got to put a stop to it. So, but in the process of putting a stop to that, Ray, you and I both know we have to be healthy in order for us to be able to stand up for our rights and the rights of our families and our friends. And what is the best way for us to get healthy and stay healthy? Well, listen in.
We all hope to age gracefully so we can enjoy our later years full of energy, vitality, and good health. But so often with age, our bodies start to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy, skin, healing and recovery time, sleep, it all just seems to go downhill. Introducing LifeWave X39, the world's first product ever to activate stem cells. A true breakthrough in regenerative science that helps restore our bodies to a healthier, more youthful state in a way no other product can. No drugs, no injections, no kidding.
Ray, I am so excited to work with people with this product. And I love this slide. I finally figured out what I want to be when I get older. I want to be younger. And this product, it's a cute little patch. I want to take that slide out. This little patch, wafer thin patch. You put this on your body and it immediately starts to reverse the aging process for you by reactivating our genes, and it's reversing their aging. It's going to give you more energy. It's going to give you better performance from a sports aspect. It's going to give you better sleep, rapid pain relief. I and a lot of other people have felt the benefits that wrinkle reduction, scar reduction. I can attest to that myself. Youth renewal. There are so many benefits to this little patch. And it is amazing. It's the only product in the market of its kind, and it's less than the price of a cup of coffee a day. So why wouldn't you want to reverse your aging process for less than the price of a cup of coffee a day? And I'm not talking about the $4 coffee. I'm talking about less expensive coffee.
So for our viewers and our listeners out there, for those of you that are interested in learning more about LifeWave, Steve, you got to get back here. Steve, you got to get back here.
I'm here. You know,
oh my gosh.
Sometimes is a little too sensitive, even for me. I'm just very sensitive today. So
let's put up the information on and verbally say it also for our listening audience.
I'll get there. Thanks for covering for me.
They can learn more about it.
Yeah, you can go to my website, and this is my website. It's a replicated website, lifewave.com/Stephen Reed, STEPHENREED. That'll give you a lot of information. Or you can go to my email, which is, no, I'm not going to do that one. I'll do, where is my email address? Right, I lost my email address. There's my email address. Okay. It's info@StephenReedMinistries.com. And people say, Stephen Reed Ministries, yeah, I look at this as being a type of ministry. I want to help people feel better, feel younger, get out of pain, etc. So I love helping people with this marvelous product. So anyway, all right, back at it, Ray. Where were we? Where did we leave things off?
We were talking about religion and government and self-respect.
Ah, yes, religion, government, and self-respect. All right, so I want to shift gears a little bit. Actually, no, you know what? I want to show another video. And this is another amazing video. So hang on.
But first, video shows a student attacking a Rockdale County teacher, sending her to the hospital with a broken leg. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Tom Haynes. The sheriff's office and the school district now have open investigations. Newsnet reporter Joy Dukes joins us now from the live desk. Joy, teacher advocates say classrooms have gotten more violent over the years.
Yeah, Tom, that teacher will have to undergo rehabilitation for her injuries. A representative for a state teachers union says that kind of violence at the hands of students is directly related to the country's massive teacher shortage.
This video of a student attacking a teacher inside a Heritage High School classroom on January 26th is now under review by the school district and authorities with the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office.
Students are out of control.
The video, which has since been shared thousands of times on social media, shows chaos erupting in the hallway after an argument between the student and teacher, seen here, escalate. as that student appears to slam the classroom door on the teacher and then begins to throw punches.
There is no excuse for the violence. There is no excuse for children who are coming to our schools daily and wreaking havoc so others cannot learn.
Verdelia Turner is the president of the Georgia Federation of Teachers. She says she was angered by what she saw in that video when she first watched it Monday. She tells Fox 5 incidents like this one make it difficult to keep teachers inside the classroom.
When we search the web and just Google student assaults on teachers, we'll see numerous assaults across the country.
She believes both students and parents should be held accountable.
In this city and the state, we are in a state of emergency, and right now, we need zero tolerance.
A spokesperson for Rockdale County Public Schools issued a statement that reads in part, quote, RCPS does not tolerate student violence towards any staff members. Students who harm other students or staff will be disciplined according to our Student Discipline Code of Conduct and will be appropriately charged by law enforcement.
It's unclear exactly what disciplinary action that student is facing from the school tonight. No word on potential criminal charges at this time either, but the Rockdale County Sheriff's Office says the investigation is active and ongoing. From the live desk, Joy Dukes, Fox 5 News.
Very disturbing video there. Joy, thanks.
Insane. So, you know, Ray, going back to our government, and I think a lot of this actually starts from the government. It starts with the parents and starts with the home. But when you have district attorneys that were put in office by a billionaire, I'm not going to mention his name, he's corrupt, and anyway, I'm just going to leave it at that. But if you know I'm talking about George Soros, then you understand. But district attorneys that have been put in office and they allow criminal behavior to run rampant. Absolutely insane. So when the kids are getting in trouble in school and they think, no big deal, my cousin was let out of jail the other day and he shot somebody, or so and so robbed somebody, or whatever the crimes are, and the people are getting a slap on the hand, no bail, they're just letting them out so that they can do it over and over again. So the kids don't feel any remorse oftentimes, and they're not afraid of any of the consequences for their behavior. Take a message for me, would you?
No, I agree. When the district attorneys or those in power are not prosecuting the criminals, when students get a slap on the wrist, they might go to juvenile detention, but their records as a juvenile don't follow them into the adults.
Yeah.
And now I think that should. So that students go, well, okay, if I am going to be tried as a criminal and I have charges brought against me and I'm a juvenile, then that's going to go on my permanent record for being an adult. That's going to limit the type of jobs that they get. It's going to limit the type of colleges that they can enter. It's going to limit their everything that they can do. I think the students realize that their future is literally screwed.
Yeah.
They might wake up and actually behave better, or they get worse, and then we separate them, and it's permanent incarceration or mental health or whatever rehabilitation. The word rehabilitation I don't really agree with, because this child has never been habilitated. They've never been shown right or wrong. So how can you rehabilitate somebody that's never been habilitated?
Yeah, that is so true. If the children haven't been taught right from wrong from the start, how can they know? Can you blame the children in some ways? Some ways, no, you can't blame the kids because they were never taught good moral behavior right out of the chute.
Right.
So, okay, we still have to hold them accountable and teach them what the right things are to do. And it's getting worse. It's not getting better. Ray, I want to share another slide. We've talked a little bit about this over the past few weeks. And you're looking, this is Saul Alinsky's doctrine from back in the early 70s. Radical communist Marxist. He wanted to destroy the United States. And here are his 8 steps for destroying a nation. Number 1, control healthcare. We've talked about that. We've seen that over the past 3 years with the whole virus thing. Increase poverty. Well, if somebody can't go to work, they're going to be forced into poverty. Increased debt. Our national debt has gone from $5 trillion 30 years ago to over $30 trillion today. Gun control. You know, last Monday, we had a shooting in Nashville. We just had one in Louisville, Kentucky. Okay. And what's the first thing the liberals do is they say, gun control, gun control, gun control. We're not addressing the issue. The issue in most of these cases is a mental health issue. Okay. These people are unstable.
Right.
You're getting ready to say something, Ray.
No, I was going to say, they're saying that there's a shooting. There's a shooting every week in Chicago. There's a shooting every week in Seattle. There's a shooting, if not every day, back in St. Louis where I used to live. I mean, here in Florida, I'm sure there's shootings on a daily basis.
Well, you know, Ray, when you look at a typical weekend in Chicago, there are more shootings in Chicago over the weekend than we used to have in the entire country.
But the media is not going to talk about that.
No, they're not going to talk about it. So let's look at number 5. We've already touched on this. Welfare is rampant. And in many cases, it's because there's no father in the home. They're trying to control education. They're teaching all of the nonsense with critical race theory that one race is more important than another race. So that's hogwash.
Instead of focusing on math, history, English, and all the important things that our students can be competitive with kids from other countries like China that are their kids are like doing pre-calculus in elementary school. Who knows? Whatever.
I mean, I can't smoke.
Our kids are, let's work on gender issues. And I'm like, I really want to do this.
Oh, right. You know, one of the things, the Young America Federation, I think that's the title of it, with Charlie, I think it's Charlie Kirk and Ben Shapiro and Matt Walsh and so forth. They've got some really good videos that are out there that everybody needs to watch some of their videos. I wish we had time to play back some of their videos. But I mean, the premise is all about moral authority. And Matt Walsh did a whole series called "What is a Woman?" and he's interviewing all these women that are, on college campuses and liberal colleges all over the country. Okay, what is a woman? And none of them can come up with a definition. Okay, can a man have a baby? There was actually a woman who was a learned individual who was testifying before Congress several months ago. And she was asked that very question: can a man have a baby? And she said, well, yes, they can. Like, man, you must have failed biology 101 maybe back in 9th or 10th grade. It's insane. But that's the kind of dribble, the garbage that we're having to put up with. So insane.
Well, they say it so often that they start believing that it's fact and it's truth. If you could say a lie over and over and over again, eventually you're going to believe that lie, and that's exactly what the Democrats on the left are doing. They're just preaching and teaching nothing but lies through the media, and the audience hears it and hears it and hears it, sees it on social media. Well, I guess it must be true because everyone's saying it. It's wake up, America. That's all I can say. Steve, I'm glad you second my because that's how I feel about what's going on in our country and our schools and our communities right now. It's just one big long.
So, in other words, Ray, we need reliable sources for information. One of the great reliable sources that we are excited to be affiliated with is the OBBM network, Offbeat Business Media Network. And take a look at what Susan has to say.
Now your DFW events can be listed on the DFW events segment of OBBM Network News. New episodes posted each week are reaching people right here in your own backyard. Get in on this. Now it's affordable to reach thousands of people in new markets, offering exposure to your professional network like never before. Get us your listing by Tuesday at noon, and you'll be included in the following week's release on Monday. Email info@offbeatbusiness.com for our digital media kit and discover a better way to reach DFW. Not hosting events? Your business will benefit from the exposure our events list generates. Take advantage of brand exposure on the ticker or with the logo graphic, video advertisement, even a QR code. Click on our QR code to access our digital media kit now.
And you know, Ray, the great thing is Susan Hamilton, founder of OBBM Network, she's based in the North Dallas area, but her reach with OBBM is going nationwide. And I know she's got a very strong presence in the Orlando area, and they're growing all over the country. So if you want to do some advertising, that is a great place. She's got a number of other great programs that are on the OBBM network, and we're so thrilled to be syndicated through them on all of the major podcast channels. So very, very excited to be here.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
Ray, we're starting to run low on time, but I wanted to let you know last week I hadn't gotten a copy of the indictment for President Trump, and I managed to get my hands on it after the broadcast last week. So I wanted to share some of the things that I discovered, some of the things that were written in the indictment. So here goes. Number one, Trump is evil. Number two, we don't like Trump. Number three, Orange Man bad. The next one is Trump is mean. Then I saw we want to arrest Trump, and then Stormy Daniels, of course. And the next one is Trump belongs in jail. Okay, here's another group of things that were in the actual indictment. Okay, Trump is a criminal. We hate Trump. Stormy Daniels, we hate his family. Trump might get reelected. We might go to prison. Trump knows all of our junk, all the stuff that we have done, all the crimes. Trump beat Hillary in 2016. Trump stole the 2016 election. Trump is like a ham sandwich. Stormy Daniels. Alvin Bragg wants to be governor. Alvin Bragg wants bragging rights. And the last one that I saw was Bragg arrested Trump. Those are some of the key things that I saw in the indictment. And this is an official document. It says it right there on the screen, official document. So I know this is accurate, totally, completely. Ray, what do you think?
That's what I think. It's a load of.
Oh, Ray.
It's nothing but lies, and
You
I think the American public is starting to see, that they're out to get Trump, and I think it's just going to fuel Trump. It's going to make him more
It is.
popular, and I think Donald J. Trump is going to be our next president.
Yes. And my understanding, the last number that I saw was over $12 million that he has raised just since the indictments were announced. So absolutely, that is great news. His numbers, his approval rating is up over 50% now, whereas the guy that's currently residing in the White House, his numbers are going down. Yes, and more stuff is coming out about the 1,800 boxes of classified documents that Biden has been hiding. And to date, the FBI has not yet raided any of his residences. Now, I wonder if there's a problem with our justice system out there.
There's a big problem. It's corruption, and like I said, our justice system is currently in the and needs to be cleaned up. We need to get some Comet in there or something to clean up.
I think we need to just soak the whole thing in bleach. It is it is disgusting. It is so disgusting. So, Ray, we are starting to wind down, and I don't know what the world is coming to. We've got to get the moral fiber back. We no longer have moral authority around the world because of the things that the Democrats and liberals and Marxists and communists. I'm sorry for being redundant. I know that's saying the same thing, but we've got to restore. Yeah, we've got to restore our moral authority that we used to have. We had under President Trump, but we
realize everyone watches their specific news channels. Watch all of them. If you're going to watch CNN, also watch Fox. If you're going to look at NBC, look at One American News. If you're going to look at CBS, check out Newsmax. Compare the narratives. Do your research.
Yes.
Do your homework. Yes. See who's the lying and see who's telling the truth.
Yeah.
And being a voter, be an informed citizen, so that we can get this right. And communicate to your state senators. Let them know if you see anything that is a disservice to our country.
Yep.
That either vote for the people for what the people want, or we're going to vote to put somebody in place of you.
Yep. And Ray, you saying that we have elections here in Texas coming up in just a few weeks, early May. Make sure you vote in your school boards, your local communities. Know who your candidates are, and vote conservative. Don't just push the R, and whatever you do, don't push D on any of the ballots. But vote conservative. Know who the candidates are. Go out and work with the candidates. Watch the polls. Go knock on doors for your candidates. But make sure that they are going to do the things for us from a conservative perspective. So,
as Nancy Pelosi always says, it's all about the children.
Yes, it is.
So vote so that we can keep our kids safe in our schools, everybody.
Absolutely. And while you're voting, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Make sure you like us, share, and comment like our friend Steve is sharing. Comment. We'd love to engage with you. And if you've got a topic for a future show, tell us what's on your mind. And if you know somebody that you think would be a great addition to one of our broadcasts, we'd love to interview quality people. So, and we don't mind having opposing views. Okay. I just won't put them on the screen, but anyway, I'm kidding. So, Ray, any closing thoughts, comments, input?
That time we got to get going.
It is that time. So here we go. Ray, it's been a pleasure once again. You have a blessed week. Bye, y'all.
Thank you for joining us on today's episode of Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve. If you have suggestions for topics you would like us to discuss, or you would like to become a sponsor, reach out to us today at Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve at gmail.com. In the meantime, check out the other amazing programs on OBBM Network on all your favorite podcast platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Join us again for another fun and informative opinion-based episode. This is Taboo Talk with Ray and Steve.